So, last we left off, we were still in an alternate reality where the Supreme Commander Shran had taken Andon's Landing. A firefight ensued in the deep elevator on the way down. And Lieutenant Commander Tamira, who had been trying to shift the reality back to, well, at least the way it was before all of this happened, feels a distinct lack of other consciousnesses. As if she's the only voice left in a room.
That's troubling.
And you lose an awareness of all the people that are in the elevator, because right up until that point, Tamira was aware of what was happening over on the ship, was aware of where people were moving around through the gate, and now that awareness is gone for some reason, and it's not entirely clear how that happened. Last thing you saw was some shouting, a plasma bolt shot, and nothing.
Are they dead or alive?
You feel out for them, and you sense a single voice that's quiet and seems to be inwardly focused on itself. And it seems very despairing.
I'm going to try and continue to turn reality back to the way it was supposed to be.
And how is it supposed to be?
Through the memories of what was before the shift.
So just before the shift happened? That left with Shran firing on the Vulcan and counselor and killing him. Is that moment. Don't know if you want to try to wind it back further than that.
Did anyone really die before that besides the council member?
No.
There was a riot.
There was a riot. Various people injured. You're not sure how many were actually killed or anything. The official numbers hadn't come out from that.
There was also that pirate raid on the Pioneer.
Where the ship got blown up.
Yeah. But I don't think you have access to that information yet.
Yeah, because they came back from that trip while you were still on the surface.
Yeah, I don't think she would know that.
You would know that the ship was under attack. You didn't know the results of it.
Yeah, I just didn't know the results. Yeah, I mean, her goal is to undo the damage that's been done because of this anomaly.
As she turns to look at the gate, you can sort of see the scene that was before. You kind of see yourself looking at yourself. Like you're seeing this sort of double vision. Like, you know how you look in a mirror, you look into a camera, but the camera's actually facing this way. So you see this weird eternal mirror effect going on. And you feel something is watching you from out there in the universe.
Can I focus on who it is?
It would be opposed insight command. And you get the feeling that if you push this, you might get hurt. Whatever it is doesn't want to be seen. But it isn't, it's just watching you now. It hasn't done anything yet.
Is it more like just a curious? It's more like curiosity feeling than it's like watching, or
It's sort of like that feeling where if someone walked into a room while your back was to them and you can kind of sense the person's there, but you haven't turned around to look at them. And you get the feeling if you do turn around, they'll probably hit you for the attempt. Whether that's hostile or some alien cultural thing is unclear without turning around to metaphorically turn around and look.
I'll let it go for now, but if things get more awkward with them, then yeah. Yeah, she's gonna continue focusing on trying to reset reality.
It's going to be a presence plus command roll to force the shift. Or insight would also work, but you are going to be opposed. The entity doesn't seem to does want to change things, but wants to change it into something else. And it isn't the way you want it to change.
Can I argue science in this case?
In what manner?
Based on the fact that quantize it with using quantum mechanics, because that's what I've been using before for focuses when dealing with this. That there's a logical process to reset the reality to the way it was, like thinking about the chronological order of how things went.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Quantum mechanics for a focus?
Sure.
What's the difficulty?
Opposed.
Take a threat.
Sure. I'm spending a threat.
I'm re-rolling the 0. I have 4.
You're currently tied, but you can push yourself even harder past your the natural limitations you usually put up to keep yourself from getting emotional, and letting that get you that just extra inch forward.
So a complication. I'll take it.
Yep. Roll for me 7 challenge dice.
Am I on a work track?
No, you just did damage to something. The presence gets a lot more distant from you now, as if you shoved it away in frustration. Like it was trying to do something, and you basically shoved it away from the controls so you could do it. This next roll, because you succeeded that well, you're rolling unopposed. Your difficulty is just 2. If you succeed at this, you'll probably have the shift occur.
Okay, take a threat. Still, I can still use its present science.
Yes, and you're at complication range of 2 because your emotions are kind of getting a little away from you.
Ooh. Rerolling the complication. But I did give you a threat.
As you start floating up into the gate, you get the sense that whatever's behind, you're able to safely able to turn and look as you're floating deeper and deeper in. Because you get the sense that it can still see you, but it can't really do anything right now. You see yourself as a whirl of red plasma. And you can get this distinct impression, this empathic connection of vengeance, righteous indignation, and a will to dominate whatever's in front of it. And it looks like it wants to try to do something to you, but it's almost like it's fell back, like it was knocked over and onto its back, sort of. Even though it's not really a person, it's more of a presence that your mind is trying to make sense of.
Fascinating.
You get the feeling that it is currently helpless, and if you were to do something to it, it wouldn't really be able to stop you, because you have control of the gate right now. Or you can continue on your way and return back to where you came from.
I get the sense this entity or whatever was trying to stop me.
It was waiting for you to start the change of reality, and then it tried to take the controls away from you and do something else that you know definitely wasn't what you wanted.
Kind of goes against. Just don't know what it is, so I'm not gonna attack it any further. Can I reach out and kind of get an idea what it could be?
Yeah, you can give me a insights plus command, difficulty 2.
Quantum mechanics for a focus.
I'm gonna say no.
Figured. It's not my greatest stat. I'm gonna spend 3 momentum on this to roll 4.
Okay.
I can't reroll that because I don't have anything to reroll. Unless I do determination spend already early on. Can I reroll using my determination to 2 dice? Emotion in a crisis only makes things worse.
That fits, since that's the emotion that's creating the complication. Well, at least you generated momentum, which you can kill it with.
Yeah, doing that.
This feels like... It feels familiar, yet very alien. And I'm gonna shoot you a message.
So I science officer power, and I also have studious.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask 2.
Part of that question, can it be narrowed down a little bit?
You get this vague sense of a world very far away. You can even see the planet. It looks very much like this one, but very different. As if all the ice were this amber color. As if the whole world almost seems to shift before your sight.
Okay. I don't think I have any other free questions to ask, but
Do you continue through the gate?
yes.
A new scene, but the momentum counter is zeroed, so. Oh, actually. Commander Ray,
Yes.
you wake up with your face on the floor, and the floor of the elevator is kind of cold. It doesn't seem to be moving.
My face is on the floor. Is my body on the floor too?
Yes.
Well, that's the last thing I remember.
Being shot in the face.
But my face is still attached to my body.
Yeah, you kind of feel it. Yeah, it's all there.
Okay. Sit up, look around.
There's no one else here.
I tap my icon badge.
It
Ray,
chirps.
Ray to Adon. Ray to Starfleet personnel.
Tamara, you hear it.
Commander, it is good to hear your voice.
What's going on? Status report.
What do you remember, Commander?
Got in an argument with Shran and I got shot in the face. And next thing I know, I'm waking up here by myself. No Shran, no Edon, no nobody.
Dr. Lorba and Helix and Shran are not with you.
No one's with me. It's just me in the elevator. I get up to the comm paddle. Is the elevator operational?
Yeah, it looks like it's just stopped right now. You're some distance into the planet's surface, but you're like no more than a third of the way to the gate.
Was it where we're at this elevation? Last I remember.
Hard to say. Things got fuzzy very quickly on you, but there was a bit of a wait, so you do know you were below the planet's surface at some point when you were shot.
Okay, Tamara, I'm gonna be taking the elevator or down to you. Are you alone?
For the time being.
What does the elevator say about the surface conditions? Does it report anything weird?
Status normal. And nothing else. No advisories or any diagnostic warnings. Oh, other than the fact that you're in a class 4 hazard zone and only certain Starfleet personnel are allowed down here. In fact, you get the feeling that if you weren't the commander of the station, you wouldn't be able to move the elevator any direction but up.
I'm gonna use my authority to make the elevator move down.
Okay. And you begin the long descent down into the planet.
I feel like I have like 3 timelines going on. What's the last thing you remember, Tamara?
A very dangerous world where Commander Shran was in control and there was a war. Many people died. To put it in perspective.
I think until further notice, as the events of that world is classified.
Understood.
See if we make it back. Commander Ray to and on station.
Commander, this is Andon Station. Are you hailing us from the deep?
Yeah, there's been some logistical things going on. And can you give me a quick status report? Been out of the loop for like 20 minutes.
Sir, station's normal right now. The ship's docked and under repairs from the minor damage the shield emitters took, but currently there is a mobilization of the colony that seems to be doing something to do with an investigation. I think the colony leader wants to talk to you about that. And yeah, the Artemis is fine. The station's fine, sir.
Keep me He posted.
Aye, sir.
Ray out. And I just slump against the wall, sit back, and think, what the hell just happened?
Sit back and think of England. Sorry. As you step out of the elevator and walk further down the tunnel away from the elevator itself, you see Tamira standing there and you see the whirl of the gate. And this connection with, oh, that's right. Please give me a fitness plus medicine roll, difficulty of 2.
Yes, this is the first time I've seen this damn thing.
Yep, I just remembered.
Focusing composure because I'm trying not to lose my shit in front of my subordinate officers.
Sure.
How the hell did I manage that? Nat 1.
For a moment, you see some squads of Cardassian soldiers mixed in with Dominion Jem'Hadar marching towards you, and you realize that it's an illusion and they're not real. And they kind of just march past you harmlessly and fade away as you enter deeper in. Tamira, you see them as well, but you already know that they're not real, so you're not resisting against it. You see the illusions pop into existence.
Well, that was disconcerting.
I suggest we do not linger for too long, Commander.
Is this the thing that's causing all the troubles?
Indeed it is.
I'm a Starfleet officer. I'm going to pull out my tricorder at least.
You can attempt a reason plus science roll. Difficulty of 4.
This ain't going nowhere, but...
Yeah, you're looking at the readings, and a lot of them don't make sense. You can tell bare basics. There is light emitting from a source. The tricorder does tell you that indeed, beyond the precipice, before the gate, is open space. Yet for some reason, the oxygen in this room isn't venting out into what should be the obvious vacuum in front of you. Tamira is indeed there. There's the life that isn't a projection or something. That's a real person standing there. There's vegetation around you. There's dirt and rock under you. But it doesn't match the biome of the planet you're on. This is more like a Class M planet biome than a Class P.
Well, that was an effort in futility. I close the tricorder. So, what can you tell me about it? What should we do?
Keep everyone away. Further study is required on this device. Or, I'm not sure if that's the proper term for it.
Do you think it's artificial in nature?
Perhaps, but this is not the only one in existence.
We know from my reports once before that Vulcan scientists thought that it connected to the Iconians.
That is incorrect, from what I can perceive so far. This is not an Iconian gateway. It is much more than that. In fact, it is not a tool for transportation, even though it could do that. It is an apparatus for changing realities, and there is something very malicious about it.
So, how come I was allowed to pass through the realities if I've never interacted with this device before? Who does it choose?
No, it was because you were aware of its existence. Because you read my reports. I suggest we leave, Commander. Tell me, do you know of Dr. Lorba and Helix? I did my best to try to mend this reality.
What do I know about the fate of those two?
You can give me insight or fitness plus command, difficulty 2. As some memories are coming to the front, but you're kind of fighting yourself.
And no focuses.
Yeah, your brother never came with you on the Artemis. He was assigned to a different ship. He's never been here before. As for Helix, supposedly there was a quartermaster that was here, but he had moved before the Artemis ever arrived. But you still remember the old memories as well, as clear as they're real. Because, well, they were. They are. Or they're not. Yeah.
Exactly how stupid would I be if I try to use my empathic sense on this?
On
the gate.
You could try.
Tamira?
I would avoid such impressions. This is how we got the reality to change before. It grasped hold of Commander Strand and saw a vision of a future that he wanted. And thus we got the alternate reality that we experienced.
I want to increase the quarantine level. I don't want any sentient life forms within 200 meters of this thing.
Thanks, Jeff Goldblum. Go home, kids, and watch Jurassic Park. You'll get the reference in the chat.
Oh, goodness. Come on, Tamara. I have a feeling there's still a mess has to clean up on the surface.
I would like to conduct some scans on the anomaly. There was a odd presence that I felt.
I'm not leaving you here by yourself. How long do you think it'll be?
Not long.
How far away is the elevator from the gate itself?
About 100, 150 meters or so.
I'll stand and like 50 meters away from the gate and just watch from afar.
Mr. Ray, would you please give me a presence plus command roll opposed?
Any focus? Star law, persuasion, xenolinguistics, tactics, or composure?
I'll give you composure.
Is this being used to diffuse a violent situation?
Definitely not.
suppose I'll use my cautious command, spend the momentum, and get an extra dice.
I'll spend a threat.
How do we get rid of the token?
Click on the token. When it pops up, just drag it onto the map. And select it and delete it. Hit the delete key.
Okay. I've actually done that before. Okay.
Ooh, I whiffed terribly on that. Well, that's you gain 2 momentum. You have a distinct impression that something wanted you to physically harm Tamira and stop her from what she's doing. In fact, throwing her into the gate would be great. And you know that something beyond the gate was trying to get you to do that. Like you empathically sensed it and you kind of braced yourself. It kind of was, it's like someone trying to sneak up and knock you out from behind, except they were stepping on loud glass the whole time. Like they gave themselves away before they even got to your mind.
And they're playing their own theme music.
Yeah.
How alien was the presence? I'm assuming non-humanoid.
For momentum, I'll answer.
I also have cold reading.
I hate you a little bit. That does get you the answer. It's humanoid, or at least it was. It's warped, so that's why it was so hard to tell right away. It's not plainly obvious like most empathic impressions are.
It was some sort of humanoid, but it's no longer that.
Yes.
Interesting. I just keep track of the time. Unless, could I tie my tricorder to the station from here, and just pull up a text file?
Be like a control engineering check, difficulty 2.
Because yeah, I don't want to obviously ask this question. I just want to pull up this. But control engineering.
You try to tap into the station, but you kind of have to piggyback off of the elevator systems to do it, and you can't quite figure out how to get it to work without losing coherence. It just you just lose the signal on the way up or on the way down. You're not really sure what's exactly wrong.
Yeah, it's not important.
I believe Tamira was trying to do something.
Yeah, she wanted to collect a generic scan of the anomaly because she's never gotten to do that before.
Just collecting one. Reason or control plus science. You're just gathering the data to look at later, not necessarily parsing it at the moment.
Yep. What's my difficulty?
2.
Take a threat.
Sure.
Quantum mechanics for a focus.
I would say no.
Sensor operations.
Yes.
Complication range is 1.
Is 1 now, yeah.
I'll let the 0 stand.
You're able to gather the data and you double check it real quick to make sure the tricorder got an accurate read and didn't have some weird variants creep into the scan. The tricorder recorded what you wanted as clear as a handheld tricorder can. Which is quite a lot, considering.
She close the tricor, puts it away. I am done here, Commander. She starts walking towards him.
I wait for her to meet up with me, and we start going to the elevator. And when we're in the elevator, or I want to go to the control panel and use my command codes to lock out the descent, keep it from going all the way down the shaft.
She stops. Do you have a name?
Do I hear this too?
You sense it. It's not a voice or a mental image. It's just there. It is. Tamira, you're resisting an attack.
What am I rolling?
Something that you'll fail at. Actually, given what it's doing, presence plus security. Or fitness plus security.
I'll do fitness
That's better.
security. Just one better. Survival for a focus?
At increased complication, I'll give it to you.
Vulcan martial arts.
At increased
like-
complication, yeah.
It's more like Vulcan mental arts, but okay.
This is a pose, right?
Yeah.
It's not worth the complication increase.
Use momentum.
I'll use the 2 momentum, and then I guess you'll take a threat.
So I lose 2 threat as I buy up to where you are.
It's 4. Please tell me I beat it. It's either a tie or that's... or they win. One of the
Ties go to defender? Is that how that works?
Not exactly. It depends on how the GM wants to roll with it. There's 2 sets of rules on the book for that. Ow. I'm assuming that's me.
Yep.
7. 3. Okay.
As you feel it tearing at every memory and trying to pull every bit of your psyche into the gate. Or not into it, but like through it to somewhere else. And it's... And actually, Ray, you can see Tamira just seeming to pale. Like, you see all the colors just draining away from her.
Take 2 threat. I'm staying up.
She does not fall over, however, despite how terrible she looks right now.
Okay. Hey, I'm punching the elevator. We're going up as fast as safety limits can.
You two escape. As you can almost feel it reaching out for you.
I almost wanted the stupid thing to attack it, but I guess not.
And actually... No, wrong thing. Where are you? There you are. You've managed not to die. Congratulations.
Oh, I didn't know that was a possibility.
Very much so. You were both in a lot of danger just then.
Damn
Somebody
changelings.
just-
Oh wait, did I give that away? I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to.
All right. So, like,
I'm about to give you some notes for your captain's log, as some time will have passed.
and I'm totally setting up my quarantine.
So you
Like,
basically
it goes 1 to 5, right?
class 1
5
being the highest.
Class 1 being highest? Yeah, let's go class 2.
There we go.
With transport inhibitors and command code lockout on the elevator. No one goes down there without my personal authorization.
How much do you report to Starfleet Command?
Hey. Still have the scientists on the way from still have the scientists on the way who were going to help study it.
Yes.
This is the part where we do robotic drones for researching purposes.
Yep.
I think we need an awesome engineer to create these robotic drones.
Yeah, I don't want any humanoid brains within 200 meters of that thing.
But the question is, how much does Starfleet Command get told in the report?
I'm not sure. Legally, what am I supposed to tell them? Just risk assessment?
You're supposed to report on all actions performed by Starfleet personnel in the course of their duty. If you believe that certain classified information needs to be parsed, needs to be delivered, you encode it to make sure it's sent a certain way. If you're at like full class 1, hyper top secret, you give a guy a pad and go that way, and to hand deliver this to an admiral.
Your best bet is to report all of it and not hide anything.
Yeah.
In this case.
Let's report everything we have. The base level report is just gonna say a activity with the anomaly, and then we're gonna classify everything about the specifics about that activity. Because I'm assuming it's not my call whether or not this stuff is actually classified beyond what Starfleet says.
As the station commander, you have some leeway. You might say only other command level officers can look at this, or hey, Admiral, make sure you look at this first and you figure out if you want to tell your staff, because I don't know. I wouldn't tell my guys, so maybe you don't want to tell yours.
Yeah, let's keep this to classify to other command level officers and their discretion. If someone needs to know something, they can, but let's keep it as low key as possible and just to command level officers.
Okay.
Speaking of, do I know the Omega directive? Or
You would, yep.
Isn't that just for a particular particle?
That's just for a particular particle.
Yeah, for like the Omega particle.
This might become the gate directive. It's like, new directive, everybody. If you find one of these things,
Murder all Andorians in the general vicinity.
But I do know that hey, there are some things that command and itself only knows and doesn't let their air subordinates know for safety.
yeah. And there's actually quite a lot that normally doesn't come into play, but there's a lot of super classified stuff that's like, we don't go around telling everyone about that. Heck, there's stuff captains don't know. They go, we don't tell even the captains about it. Go here, do a thing. Don't worry about it. Just go there, do the thing. We don't even trust you to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this as classified as I can, wrap it up, and buck it up to the Admiralty.
Oh, Tamira told you there's a second one of these in the Gamma Quadrant.
That
Just
would be
say.
of note. Gamma Quadrant generally can't give me coordinates, so we can send someone through the wormhole.
Well, that's the other problem. It's in Dominion space, so yeah, that whole nonsense.
The Treaty of Bajor is still is still on the books as of a couple just under a month ago.
It's been signed. It's just we're not really allowed to venture into Dominion space right now. And top it off, the entity is probably either a founder or a Vorta. That's what I narrowed it down to.
Did you tell me this?
Yeah. After we
Okay.
walked up, like I was gonna RP it out, but
All right. Now I'm back at the computer.
I almost killed one of you, or two of you actually. We've had 3 new characters, but no, you had to survive. Jeez.
I tried.
no, Tamara had 2 stress left. I'm not lying. It was close.
Oh, you gotta pay to reroll some of that damage in the future.
He had throw on the table. All you had to do was spend the 2 threat, and I don't know. Was that tech lethal?
No, it needed you alive.
Oh.
So
I
you would have
see.
been dead. You just would have wished your character was. It's a nice entity.
Yeah, all changelings are. They don't plan the genocide of solids for nothing.
Dr. Albert Magnus?
Yes.
Is your character in the normal Starship Starbase pool, or are they like part of the Starfleet Corps of Engineers, or any other special branch of Starfleet?
Probably. It might be the Corps of Engineers because it's an R&D focused character, so I'm thinking the Corps of Engineers.
I wasn't sure if you were going to kill the entity when you were there, though. I was like, oh, you kind of did 5 damage to it. You dropped it. I'm like, uh-oh. That went a lot worse for it than I thought it was going to.
But that's not really what a Starfleet officer does.
Yeah.
Well, this was D&D. Yeah, I'll burn it with fire, but...
Trying to find a way to work in the joke, burn it with plasma fire,
Aww.
but I couldn't get to it.
Oops. I can spell, I swear.
What is the talent for a diplomatic attaché?
Their superpower is that they can change. The admiral usually gives a focus. That's his power. He gives one of his focuses for his mission plan to everybody in the team. The diplomatic attaché gets the. Oh, wait, no, that's the adjunct thing. I forget what the attaché does. I have to look. They have something similar, like it's attached to. Oh no, it's in the command book, but it's I remember now. I believe sight unseen. It has something to do with giving an advantage with a species, and the diplomat actually doesn't have to be there. It's assumed that the diplomat is always briefing the staff on current issues. I'm almost there. There you are.
Can we get an Andorian diplomat? That sounds really helpful.
At the start of any social conflict involving a foreign culture, can spend 2 immediate momentum, create an advantage for any main character present, not supporting character, main character, representing a briefing provided by the attaché. This may be performed even if the character is not present. It is prior counsel rather than immediate assistance.
Okay, I'm gonna message you something about that basically is the exact same thing, just flavored.
Yeah, it's the thing we talked about before. To set up the containment, actually, I'll have Ray do a roll, and he can be assisted by Tamira. Presence plus command or presence plus con. Difficulty 2, just to make sure that the local security forces are aware of what exactly is needed and making sure all the paperwork's filled in. Because right now, that quarantine is like completely backed. So you have a legitimate reason to seal, but you still need to talk.
Focus in persuasion or interstellar law.
Interstellar law, I'll give it to you. Thank you, Tamara.
Alright.
Yeah, you're able to establish it without any additional issues. Give me a fitness plus medicine roll, difficulty 1, to see if that trauma doesn't affect you this episode. Because I remember that's still a thing. I didn't make you test for it. Whoops.
Focus and composure.
Yes. Oh no.
Oh no. Alright, I'm ready for this log. How much time has elapsed since we left the gate?
It's been 1 week.
Okay. Station Commander's log, stardate a 52921 on Mark III. It's been 1 week since Tamara and I have stepped out of the anomaly, whatever that means. We have personnel coming from Starfleet, Dr. Albert Magnus, the Starfleet Corps of Engineers, who's gonna help us with researching and handling the gate. Otherwise, as the gate 8 is under level 2 quarantine and by Starfleet Security Directive 235-Delta. Meanwhile, we have been working diligently to get this colony back to whatever semblance of normalcy it had before Starfleet arrived. I can only hope that my brother, who has been reassigned to DS9 as of a month ago, is doing well. Whatever weird memories I've had of him in the past month seem real and unreal at the same time. But there's only so much grieving I'm allowed to do while in command. End log.
We begin in station operations aboard the outpost Andon. Currently, now here's a question I have. You are at the option. It appears that Commander Shran has resigned when he came back. He just kind of seemed very listless. And no one seems to remember anything beyond what happened, but he seems to have stepped away from his post. This does leave you with the option of seeing if you're going to hang on to the brigade that you had with you when you got the station, or if you are going to supplant them with Starfleet personnel.
Will the brigade answer to me?
They will, because he's not fighting you on it. He's just, and they'll defer to they'll have their own commander as usual, but they'll defer to station commander. They have a strict adherence to, because the military is an ally of Starfleet officers.
Okay.
You're all part of the same federation, so.
But this is basically the civilian militia.
It's more like, think the Navy and the Marines. They're both the same. They work for the same people, but they work for very different branches, and sometimes they compete.
Yeah, I kind of wrote in my backstory that he had spent time in the war, that the Andorian Guard and probably the other remnant militaries had been used as ground forces, because Starfleet didn't have those to use of its own, really.
I would rather have a chip on the table and throw it away. If they want to play nice and realize we're all on the same team, having a specialized force that can handle one activity while I deal with another thing is a benefit.
Oops, be up here. Actually, Tamara, you have your choice of being at the science seat further closer to the view screen, or one that's further back closer to Ray.
Oh, so I get the office, right?
Yes.
You only had to die to get it.
The view's worth it.
You can even take this seat if you want. That's the op station.
wherever. Doesn't matter.
Well, fine.
I know I can't take that seat.
You can.
No, it's a joke.
We're right back where we started. No.
A
Can we
joke.
not? Do you count the pips on my collar? See these pips?
1, 2. I only see 2 there, sir.
I see 3.
Come here, Gate.
I have 3 too.
You have 2.5. Quit rounding. Anyways.
Hail coming in, sir.
On screen.
Stand by, sir. There's a little bit of interference from a nearby anomaly. Get that sorted out. One moment. You see the Andorian officer, his counterpart, starting to help the Starfleet guy try to clear up the signal a bit more. Sorry, Commander. It's our old transceiver. We still haven't gotten the new one installed yet.
Is it the transceiver or the anomaly? It's one of those things we can fix.
Well, the transceiver does need to be replaced so we can see through anomalies like this one.
Okay.
Got it. Hello? Can you hear us?
This is Commander Leandros Ray of Station and Adon. Pleased to hear you.
Pleased to hear you as well. I'm Captain Alden Riordan of the USS Triumph. We're here with your supplies and personnel.
Excellent. How far out are you?
We're looking at current speed, 30 minutes or so.
All right, we'll have docking available for you when you get here.
All right, we'll have to take one of your umbilicals. We're a little too big for your landing platforms. We also have the research and development attaché from the Corps of Engineers. Did you want him to come across the umbilical, or did you want him to beam over?
Whichever's convenient. Let's have him beam over.
All right, once you get in range, we'll have him beamed over once you give us the all clear.
Yep. We'll send you coordinates.
See you
Station
soon,
out.
Andon.
See you soon. Station out. And I start talking to my ops officer, or let him know to prepare. What class of starship is the Triumph?
It's a Galaxy class, one of the old models.
Okay.
That's why it's too big for you. It can't actually.
Should dock. All right. I will tell my ops officer and the quartermaster team to prepare or to receive a Galaxy class starship. If we need the umbilical and flight clearance for a Galaxy class. Because I'm assuming we have to like direct traffic around this thing.
Yeah, it's going to take up a lot of space. Haha, a lot of space around the station.
Yep. So let's get to redirecting traffic. Give the Triumph a safe docking. A safe berth, safe docking orbit, and prepare for the umbilical. Because we probably have to dust that thing off.
You've had to use it once or twice for large cargo haulers. because you can't birth anything larger than scale 4.
Which is why we have the Artemis.
Exactly.
It actually fits. All right, so yeah, I start giving out those commands. I want to use a focus, but I'm not sure which one. I need a more generic focus for, or hey, I'm giving command.
We can't be
It's-
too generic.
It's almost like the game designers didn't want that.
No. Focus and persuasion. Do your job, get this done quick. I think we can get off early.
Sure, that sounds like a great plan. Yay, everyone gets off early if we pull this off.
I would like focuses in command and security and medicine and science.
I want focus in Star Trek. Everything Star Trek.
That's how you get Warhammer 40k in here.
Anyways, all right. Let's roll.
Oh.
Station.
Oh, right. Shoot, I didn't give you back the station.
Can I have station?
Only one person can have station. He never
I'm the
gave
commander.
control. There you go. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Did you take my station away? This is in case you can.
Oh, hey.
Dang.
2 momentum gained. And yeah, you're able to organize your teams to the various personnel to prepare for the triumph to connect up.
Commander Tamara.
Yes, sir.
Was there any preparations as you want to do before we debrief our attaché?
I believe all relevant information was logged and quantified.
Okay. Let's have a staff meeting within 1 hour. Senior staff meeting.
Understood, sir.
Anything else done in the half-hour time it takes for them to connect up?
Make sure the ready room's all presentable. You know, I might have pads and stuff all over the place.
Oh, so you're having the staff meeting in your office.
Well, how many senior staff members do we have? Just me, Tamara, and
This new guy.
this
A
new
lot.
guy.
Your staffing has been a little pared down given the high clearance required for the job of Outpost Andon. The job got a lot harder to get into all of a sudden, and they can't pull you guys out because then they'd have to brief new people on what you guys were doing.
Oh, this is one way to get job security. Maybe that's how Cisco did it. Anyways, yeah, let's just have this in my office.
Okay. Dr. Albert Magnus, you beam onto the pad as you're beamed from the Triumph over to the station. Most of the crew seems to be, all the larger items for you are either being beamed with you or being just carried along in the umbilical. and you're greeted by a mix of Andorian and Starfleet personnel. Well, Andorian Guard and Starfleet personnel.
I pull out my tricorder and I start scanning people as I go, headed to wherever I'm supposed to go to.
A doctor, as you start walking away from them.
I turn back around and scan whoever said that.
Give me reason plus science difficulty of 2, or insight engineering.
That's actually a toss-up. Does it? Oh, I have bold engineering, so it's not It's not quite a toss-up. So I'll spin the threat.
Okay.
This is a long shot, but since I scanned him after he started talking, does linguistics come into it?
At increased complication, sure.
I feel like that's fishing for a complication, so I won't fish for my focus.
You gain a momentum as you do detect that it seems that the station, the people in it, have this weird. It's imperceptible to the human ear, but the tricorder and your instincts kind of pick up on it. There's always a half-step moment, or half-second even, of hesitation, like someone's not sure what exactly they're supposed to be saying, and then they remember it. And even the person himself probably doesn't realize that he did that, but you catch it.
Does this seem natural?
Most people don't second guess what they're thinking with that regularity. Like, both of them seem to have that half-second misstep, and you almost didn't perceive it, but you were holding your tricorder and talking to him, and you were staring at the readings, and you notice that weird blip.
Does it seem like they're waiting to know what to say, or they just seem forgetful?
They seem like they were. It's like they were halfway in a thought, and then they kind of stopped themselves to get an idea of what they were supposed to say, because they were gonna say something else. You know what I mean? It's a weird pause, a weird linguistic quirk that they've developed, and you kind of hear it among people, even in the hallways. Except for people who don't work on the station, like the travelers who come and go.
I am going to find the nearest EVA suit.
You find one rather quickly.
I will spend the momentum for that, and I will head to where I'm supposed to go, scanning all the way.
So you suit up?
Yep.
I'll take a momentum.
I mean, you gave me the information. That's
What
seems kind of dangerous.
Actually, that's a different one. Yeah. As you walk down the corridors, various people look at the Eva-suited dude walking across the station. No one stops you or anything. It's just more of a, okay, that's happening.
Every so often along the way to the bridge or ops or whatever, I scan myself just to be safe.
Whoops, dang it. I gotta lay this out better. You go over there. Over there. It's Tamir and Ray. You meet up in the station commander's office as you're waiting for your third to show up.
We don't have. Okay, I have a stylus and I'm tapping it on the exterior window. Nervous.
Is everything all right, Commander?
just feel like I'm trading one problem for another.
Where there are problems, there are solutions. Patience
ex-
is key, Commander.
excuse me, and you can hear voices outside the door. Excuse me, Lieutenant, are you all right? Why are you in an Eva suit?
The hell? Get up and
There's
go to the
some
door.
very fishy things going on, and I start scanning the Andorian. Hold still for a second.
Of course, sir.
What the hell?
Does I guess Commander Ray has now walked outside the office?
Like, poke my head out.
I run up very fast to the commander and start scanning him, and I'm shouting, stay there, hold." And then I kind of scan for a second, and I say, "Oh, you'll be glad to know there's absolutely nothing interesting about you. I'm sorry, wrong with you."
I'll take that as a compliment and a defense.
I kind of
May I ask what's with the Eva suit? Our environmental systems are perfectly well.
The Andorian behind him nods, like, yeah.
You seem to be at a loss for words. I'm trying to figure out where they're going.
They're probably lost along the way trying to figure out why you're in the middle of the station in an Eva suit.
It seems there's some kind of oddity infecting everyone who is on the station.
I believe this conversation should be handled behind closed doors.
That's the whole operation station. They're all around looking at you guys talking.
I'm like, yes, come in, and I pat him, and I like usher him in and stay on the bridge, and once he's behind me,
as he's pulling me in, I'm gonna like grab some like a little container out of my bag and hand it to one of the Andorians. 2 of these every half hour.
Sir. The guy that's out there kind of looks at everyone else and shrugs, like, I don't know.
like, please come in. And I let him go in the door first, and then I just look out on the bridge and like make a slashing motion across my throat. Just ignore him. Just ignore him.
He puts the container on the chair and then goes back to his station.
Walk inside. Lieutenant, take the Eva suit off.
I need to find the vector of infection first.
What sort of anomaly you are questioning, Lieutenant?
Can I verify that they also exhibit this symptom?
Yeah, they're probably not aware they're doing it, but every so often they kind of hit their words hitch, and they're not even perceiving that among. Again, it's because you're.
You seem to be forgetting your words, and it's almost like you're on a half-second delay.
That would be the effects of the anomaly, more than likely.
Oh, so there is a reason to have the suit.
Unfortunately,
The suit is not gonna. EVA suit's not gonna help you shield you from the effects of the anomaly. In fact, it will hinder your work in it in order to. And I pause again. In order to solve the mystery of the anomaly. So it's not helping you, and it's hindering you. Therefore, you should take the suit off.
I'd like to consult with a medical professional first.
I'm sure Dr. Lore. And I stop.
I have run all prudence tests and still going through the data on it.
I
Needless to
scan.
say,
Oh, go ahead. You can finish.
I have not found any information on whether or not the vector that caused the EVA suit will protect you from it. It appears to be some sort of operate on some sort of mental wavelength. By now, the moment you become aware of the anomaly, you endanger yourself becoming infected. Or well,
Hold
prone
that.
to its
Hold,
presence.
hold that thought. I scan the commander more intensely.
Can we not? Well, if he's scanning me, I'm scanning him. Empath check.
What is Dr. Albert's mental state right now? Just surface level.
Fascination.
Any sense of worry or malicious intent?
Nah. There's worry, but it feels background. It doesn't feel like it's heightened.
Like he worries normally.
Yeah, like definitely has a higher level than average of stress.
Okay. I just look over his shoulder and just shrug at Tamara. Like,
Now that I kind of got on the linguistics path, is it still an increased complication range?
This is a different the thing you're scanning for is different. Linguistics isn't the issue.
With xenotechnology,
No.
if I'm aggressive enough, maybe reverse engineering?
No.
Um, probably a threaten to momentum, because I don't know. No, I'll just do a momentum.
Okay. Oh, gain him back.
Is that emotional or is that physical?
knowing me, probably emotional.
Uh, you might need to see someone.
Well, you're in front of me right now, and I'm clearly seeing you.
I'm referring to your mental problems.
Are you replacing the medical staff here? I thought you were here on assignment as a engineering liaison, engineering specialist.
I believe you're referring to the fact that we have experienced multiple timelines and remembering multiple timelines.
I kind of stop, and he goes to stroke his chin, and he stops for a second, and then he goes ahead and strokes the chin of the suit anyways. This could do it. Yeah. There may be nothing totally wrong with your brain after all. We could probably fix it.
At a later time, Lieutenant.
Oh, you can call me Doctor. That's just something I accepted so that I could see interesting stuff.
Uh-huh. So, have you been briefed on the specifics of the anomaly?
Yes. The report felt lacking, but I guess y'all have not had time for in-depth analysis.
Not really. We spent most of our time keeping it under lock and key.
Well, that was probably the correct thing to do.
I have
I've
taken
only
some.
encountered.
I have taken some in-depth scans on it. I am currently going through the data.
What is your initial impression, Doctor?
It's definitely a threat on a galactic level. I'm not quite sure if it's a universal threat, though.
Galactic level is scary enough. I want you and Lieutenant Commander Tamara to coordinate with each other, or to analyze this gate, see if it's a threat, see if we can neutralize it, and see if we can utilize it safely. I don't want any sentient creatures within 200 meters of the gate, and I don't want anyone going to the bottom level of the elevator without my express permission. Am I understood?
I would prefer if you could escalate that. I don't know how much resources you have, but if you could escalate to any organism with a nervous system, that would probably be the best.
Considering the anomaly is underground, that would not be hard to do. Seems
We
like a
haven't seen
prudent
anything.
caution.
You know
might
what
be
rats?
might be a prudent caution, but we've seen this thing react to sentience, not nervous systems in general. But if you feel we need to escalate the situation of our all organic life with nervous systems, then we can do such things.
That seems appropriate. I doubt it should have any effect on single cell organisms.
So you proves me wrong.
I would like to get a scan of every brain and nervous system that we know of that's come into contact with or that knows about the gate and that has seen the gate.
Well, you can start with me and Lieutenant Commander Tamara.
Do I know if either the Artemis or the station has like a laboratory or a medical facility that would have like something that could do deep scans on brain?
come on. There we go. Just checking the
Just,
stats. The Artemis has modular laboratories that
yeah,
could be
I was
fitted
gonna
to
say
such a
the
purpose.
Artemis.
That
Yeah, the Artemis
what's
could.
the talent actually do? Oh, let me read it real quick. Could we consider that one of them is configured to do deep neural scans, and is good at like cross and mapping brain patterns?
Yeah, they could set it up for that. In fact, you might even have sent that request ahead to the your Artemis counterpart, and they've been working at it since you were been on your way here.
Would
The
you?
Artemis is more our setup for our scientific and laboratory settings. Plus, all the personnel on the Artemis is our Starfleet personnel, making classification easier.
Well, would you like to escort me there? We can stop and get you a suit if you'd like, although it may be too late.
No suit necessary.
I believe I would probably be the one you want to scan first, since I've had the most contact with the anomaly.
Tamara,
Doctor,
would you be so kind to escort our Dr. Magnus to the Artemis laboratories? I'll meet up with you.
she just nods her head.
I will follow Tamira the whole way, scanning everything. I may even stop a couple of times and like walk down a random corridor for a couple of feet to scan something.
Doctor, this way.
Hold on, there's the pattern of steam coming out of this pipe is very unusual.
If you would like to file a formal complaint to the station engineering staff, please do so at your own time. On your own time.
Oh, no concern, just deep-seated sense of doom.
Commander Ray, what are you doing once they've carried as they make their way to the Artemis?
Does the doctor have quarters on the station?
Yeah, there's a ship stock. There's various doctors. In fact, the station has more robust medical facilities than the ship does.
Does Dr. Magnus have quarters on the station?
Oh yeah, there'd probably be some set aside ahead of him coming, along with the other Starfleet personnel that were here to augment your efforts.
Can we switch that so he just has quarters on the Artemis?
I mean, you can. Your station.
Tamir only has quarters on the Artemis.
I just think it would be more prudent to have the head researcher on the research vessel itself. Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, the Starfleet ops officer makes sure the arrangements are set up with his counterpart on the Artemis to make sure that's set up properly, so you're not double booking for the same guy.
Yep.
It's like, oh, if he's not staying here, then okay, we'll free up that room for something else. Oh, there's also seemed to be some containers sitting on your seat.
What's in the container?
I don't know, sir. The lieutenant that in the Eva suit handed them to me. Said I was supposed to take them, but you said to. He makes the gesture and shrugs. So.
All right, I pick it up and I look at it.
It explodes. No. What did you give the guy, Magnus?
A very, very strong neural suppressant.
I don't suppose I can recognize this offhand.
Insight medicine, difficulty 2. Otherwise, probably not.
Very, very much no.
Yep, those are pills, all right. They probably do something if you eat them.
You know what? You know what? I now have an excuse to go down to the. Is it a sick bay on the station?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna take these down to sick bay. And the next highest ranking officer, you have Khan. Whoever's like the most senior junior officer left.
Among Starfleet?
Yeah,
Or,
among Starfleet.
Okay, just checking. Just wanted to make sure if you're making the same mistake twice. New scene as we cut to Magnus and Tamira on walking the decks of the Artemis. Approaching the doors of the laboratory.
I believe you'll find everything satisfactory inside this laboratory, Doctor.
Well, she doesn't look like she's been converted for a warship, so maybe.
Indeed.
When you step into the laboratory, you see it has been set up to the specifications you've asked for. Various specialized equipment, some modular-looking desks haven't been moved, and partitions moved to accommodate the new configuration.
Well, if you'd like to get yourself set up there in the scanner.
Very well. She takes a seat.
So what does a synaptic scanning technique actually do?
Um,
I think it actually like scans everything
Yep.
to make a copy.
Or to transfer your synapses to
consciousness.
essentially to a computer or Android body. But you can use it to scan essentially the subject.
Well, then what I'm going to do is message you what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Please don't put. If you're gonna put me in a computer, you better make a very fine Android body to go with that.
Oh, and that's how we got the origin story of Lieutenant. Fleet joke, everybody.
Okay.
Origin stories of Lieutenant Myth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just didn't remember who she was beforehand. All right, Doctor. I'm gonna have you roll. First, a reason plus medicine roll. Difficulty 3 because this is a rather in-depth scan, and it's only possible because of the laboratory space having been set up the way it is. The ship will assist with sensors plus medicine.
I need to go to the talents section of the science book real quick. So I don't remember 100% off the top of my head what mine do.
Theory into practice leads into it. Fires when testing a theory does. I don't know what lab rat does.
I don't remember what testing a theory does.
If you've covered that discipline in a previous role, or usually if you've scanned something or you've worked on something and then you work on it again, testing a theory fires, you get an extra d20. If testing a theory fires, then theory into practice brings down the difficulty by 1.
Okay, can I do all that because I've already scanned Tamira?
Did you scan her earlier?
I think I did not. I did not roll to do it. I've scanned everyone I came into contact with. I've only rolled for it on a random person and the commander. So if I need to scan again for a roll, I could do that.
I'll hand wave it from now because there's a presumption you've been scanning her the whole way down. So that brings it down to difficulty 2 and gives you a free d20.
Lab rat is when I'm doing an extended task in a laboratory, and this is not an extended task yet.
Keyword is yet. You're right.
Oh, so what was it? What was the difficulty? Spend a moment. Oh, I needed to spend 2 for this scan.
No, I'm letting the modular laboratory cover that.
Oh, that's the advantage from that. Okay.
If you didn't have a modular, I would have made you spend 4.
Okay, I will spend a momentum. Does reverse engineering work here?
Not in the scanning phase, no.
Okay.
That's a different problem.
Ooh. No bueno.
The ship does help, theoretically.
Spencer's medicine?
Yes. Turn up my gain a little bit. There we go.
Oh, that can help. Yeah. It's a little early for. Well, we started a little late, so I'll spend determination for the reroll. On critical analysis reveals.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Oh, that's better.
Gaining momentum out of it, no less. And because of the ship's high-res sensors, you get a bonus momentum for obtaining information. Yes, you get a full in-depth scan of Tamira's neural net, as it were. All the synapses, everything that makes Tamira Tamira.
I want to see if I can get from that. I want to see if I can identify the source of the stuttering.
And that'll be that spend for sure. It looks like Tamira's guess from before is correct that there are 2 sets of memories. Normally, people have one memory engram related to a certain event, so only certain things trigger it. Some things may be similar. If your favorite color is blue, it reminds you of the sky and the ocean at the same time. But normally, one dominates over the other, so one is more settled in than the other. In this case, there are 2 pathways that are of equal weight in the brain. So the brain has this moment of, do I like the ocean or the sky more when I think of the color blue? You think of both, and then the other parts of the brain kind of have to take a second to fill in the gap of, well, the ocean, we're not near an ocean, or we haven't seen the ocean ever in this reality, so we like the sky. So that's kind of what's happening, and there's a double of everything. Some stuff Tamira doesn't stumble on because there's only one memory event, especially certain events, more short-term memory stuff. But anything that's in the long-term memory, actually Tamira seems to have a rather extensive. It seems to go all the way back to. It isn't just the events surrounding her time on the station or near the planet. It extends all the way back into her early childhood memories. Like her entire life has 2 sets of memories attached to it.
All of her autobiographical moments.
It's like she lived a whole other life at the exact same time as she lived the current life. And you can tell that it's a separate memory because its quantum variance is different, so it's obviously from a different quantum reality. So you can tell which one is this reality's memories. most people would be suffering greatly from this sort of dissociation, but Tamir seems to be handling it rather well. Okay. All right. All right. Well, here comes the extended. Oh. Okay. So out of the gate, that work is going to be that. Yeah. Yeah. Magnitude. Yeah.
Probably should have saved my determination for this. Although, if it goes wrong, I mean, there may not be any witnesses.
Wait, what?
This is one way to kill Tamira.
Well, I'm half expecting a new character at this point, so.
Hold that thought.
What kind of freaky science are we doing down there?
Sorry.
Stuck
Well,
down the turbo shaft. After there's a monkey screaming and explosions and some sort of or weird phase variants.
Okay, now what does the progression 1 effect do?
I forget. Progression.
Is that the one that's if you get 1 breakthrough, you get 2 instead? Maybe not.
This is what happens when I'm late. I would have looked this up ahead of time. Page 91. Okay. Do.
Yeah, and whose fault was it they wanted ramen?
Actually, it was mine. You make an additional X work for each effect roll.
Oh, okay. So it's vicious 1. Okay. It's difficulty 4. Yeah, I really should have saved that determination. Okay,
Oh, you wanted to shoot some
oh,
face.
does my theory into practice proc again?
Not for what you're doing now. You're doing a different.
Okay.
And Tamira, as far as your character is concerned, you just hear the machine ring louder. You're not sure what Magnus is doing right now, other than doing a more in-depth scan because you're in the chair.
Now does reverse engineering work?
I mean,
An increased complication
Yeah.
it does.
yeah,
No, I got a
Yeah.
straight yes. I'm gonna roll with that.
yeah.
Great.
I'm gonna roll maximum dice. No reason to waste the momentum, so just all 3.
How much red is that at the end of the day? Because complications are coming.
6.
Bring the complication up to 4.
Really?
Yes.
Well, hold on to your butts. Oh. Is it too early to challenge a value?
I'll let you challenge a directive because you didn't exactly ask for permission first.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll do that. So but that basically guarantees a complication.
That guarantees that someone in the command structure is going to be not happy with what you did.
Gee,
Okay.
and who do we know who's in the command structure?
Well, I'm gonna use that
Tamira?
determination on a value. On I am after knowledge for knowledge's sake.
Yeah, that applies.
Oh, pulled it off. Very clutch.
Gain a momentum.
Did you spend
roll.
momentum earlier, or you gave
I
him
did
a
not.
threat? Okay,
Spent
so we're
all
at
threat.
3.
Yeah, you can't buy curious devices with threat. So
Roll for me 6 challenge dice. Oh, actually, the ship would have helped you. What am I friggin' thinking? Duh. Not I'm not sure if it will help, but we'll find out.
before I roll, so I don't get a biased result, is it possible to not have spent the determination if I'm able to get 4 off of this?
Sure, I'll let you do that because that was my gaff. I forgot about. I was like, wait, the
With-
ship is helping.
With the
I'm
two
probably not going to do that
complications,
because Tamira might. Well,
my brain could
it's
melt.
probably better to keep her alive and mad at me than her murdering us.
I'll just become
Let's
like
keep
the current
Okay, it didn't matter anyways.
individual on the planet surface, gaseous and vengeful.
Oh, now I roll the 6. Spending momentum to re-roll the 2 die. Let me look at the thing. So that's
It's 5.
5. That's
With the
I need
resist
at least
4.
1.
Yep.
So there's a slight chance that if I spend 1 on piercing, 1 on a reroll, and maybe 1 on thing, I can get another 5. But I don't think that gives this
No,
10
it doesn't.
10 doesn't give me 2 breakthroughs. Yeah,
No.
there's no
Yeah,
reason.
You might as well just
So-
spend 1 on work and get the breakthrough, and the difficulty goes down by 1.
Yeah, I'll spend 1 on work to get the breakthrough. Does the complication range reset?
It does, yeah. I have to spend for that to happen. But we are going to be cutting elsewhere.
Okay.
But I will say, with the breakthrough, you discovered that the thing you want to do is possible. And it's actually been done before, oddly. But you need containment vessel of some variety, other than ship's memory.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna spend the 2 momentum because I got a complication. I did not increase the complication range for the station. I got a 19 on that, so I will spend the 2 momentum to get rid of that.
Okay, good. And when that momentum goes away, we cut to Commander Ray attending to the sick bay of the station.
Who's the chief medical officer here?
That would be me, sir. One of the civil doctors assigned here on the station.
Yeah, I have this medicine that was left hanging around. One of the research assistants, as that just came from the Triumph, left it laying around. And can you make sure this gets to a proper storage location?
Certainly, sir. Where did you find it? Oh, certainly, Captain. Commander, he would say. He wouldn't call you sir. I just realized.
It just got lost in transit. Someone left it on the shelf.
All right. Hands it off to one of his staff. Anything else I can do for your commander?
Do you have a moment to talk in private?
Certainly. Kind of walks you into his office. Please have a seat, Commander. He taps on his console, and you can see some shutters come down, so you can't be seen as you're talking.
I seem to be under some sort of mental duress, and it's been suggested to me that I speak to someone about it.
Oh. How long have you felt this duress?
Apparently a week since we shut down the drill on the surface.
Oh. Uh, uh, Commander, it's been almost a month since the drill was shut down.
Has it been that long?
Yes, Commander. Ray, can I call you Ray?
I mean, that's my surname, but sure.
Right, Mr. Ray. I'm just gonna put this device on your neck for a little bit, and we're going to see where your brain waves are at right now. As he is now going to give you, he's gonna try to treat you, because you're kind of alarming him right now.
And I'm very much freaking everyone out.
It's like, why is our commander? Why is the station commander not remembering dates and stuff? And he apparently went through some sort of trauma. Oh no!
What do we do to break our commander?
He's only been here a month and nothing's happened other than that weird riot. But you know, he was okay, right? Nothing bad happened.
Mostly.
Would you like to? Well, he's only rolling 2 dice right now. Do you wish to spend? Do you wish him to spend a threat to get an extra die? Difficulty's 1 is what he's aiming for, and the station's going to help him with this roll.
No, there's no need for threat.
You say that now. Well, there we are. And station is rolling computers plus medicine. That's 2 hits so far, thankfully.
Computers, dice.
And gain 2 momentum. Actually, no, more than that, because your the difficulty was 1, so you actually gained 3 momentum. As he does a quick scan and tells you that apparently you suffered severe mental trauma of some great loss in your life. He even asks you. Actually, it depends. How truthful are you about your experiences?
As much as I think I can get away, as little as I think I can get away with.
Give me presence plus medicine opposed, because you're trying to answer him without leading him down the wrong path and like actively hindering his examination.
Focus on xenolinguistics as I try convincing him in Klingon.
I'd increase complication. I'll give it to
No. Actually, a focus isn't doing me any good because my medicine's 1.
you. Okay.
So, that's for me and stuff. So, it'll be a complete stretch for me to use diffuse attention in this situation.
Yeah, he's not intending anything hostile to you. You're trying to deceive him, more or less.
All right.
Well, half deceive him. You're trying to tell him the truth without telling him everything.
Well, there's your threat.
He's only going to get a. Well, there's that. Plus, he beat you by that much. Yeah.
When I use roleplay in my therapy, not therapy in my roleplay.
As you talk back and forth about it, and he looks. He eventually just says, "Just stop, Mr. Ray. Just stop." Look. What I can do for you is I can attach. I can put you through two methods. Either one, I can help you talk you through it through counsel therapy, and it does seem to be your issue, although distressing, is something that I think I can handle through that method. However, I do get the sense that you aren't being entirely forthcoming with me. There may be a reason for that. Perhaps you don't like doctors. Perhaps there's something to your story you're not telling me. If you feel that you can't tell me or don't want to tell me, I do have another option. It's somewhat experimental. It's one of the Vulcan methods that we can use, and it can help you with it through a digital method. However, there is some complications that could rise from it that could create new issues. However, it doesn't require you to divulge exactly what it is. And given how little damage there is to you, it's possible it could get worse. But right now, the worst that'll happen is that the memory would be a lot more clearer for you. Translation: there's going to be if you do it the experimental way and it fails, it'll increase the difficulty of this trauma by 1 because it'll get worse, not better.
Tell me more about this experimental procedure.
Well, you see, talks you through it. You would be rolling a fitness plus medicine roll, difficulty 3, complication range 3.
Ha! Yeah, that's not happening for me.
He would assist. The ship would be assisting you with it because it's the thing that's giving the program, and he'll be assisting because he's telling the computer. He's observing the brain with the system to make sure nothing bad's happening. Or you have to talk it out with him, or just live with the trauma and deal with it on your own time. He doesn't suggest the third option since it does seem to be bothering you, but it's your choice. He can't force you to do it because he's not a Starfleet medical officer. He's just the doctor here. He's just offering you options.
And of course, if I go to a Starfleet medical officer.
Yeah, if you go to the Artemis, that they might force you.
And also, we have the issue of security clearance. Legally, how much of a bind would I put this doctor in if I start talking about this shit?
You'd be challenging a directive because he hasn't been given security clearance yet. You'd have to wait till he got security clearance from Starfleet. Starfleet Command would have to do a background check on him and then get his security clearance up to the level that you have, in so much that he can talk about the gate and know about it. Because technically he's not supposed to know about it because this has been sealed by the Federation Council.
And I would have to do the same thing if I go through a Starfleet doctor.
Yeah, it's the same problem, yeah. It'd be easier to get them cleared because they're already an officer. This guy is a civilian who's working on the station.
I don't know, I kind of feel better, Eric. I kind of feel better talking about this out of Starfleet's purview because I don't want anything officially on a record or that might say I'm unfit for command.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not feeling frosty about making that fitness medicine roll. That's like 2 of my lowest stats.
You could spend threat, get extra dice.
I suppose.
Spend momentum. I mean, it's not like they need it.
No, they'll be fine. It's just they're just doing routine maintenance. They do this every day. I mean, what?
I mean,
It's just
if
a
the doctor has
Monday,
anything to say about it, he will.
right? All right, fine. We'll do your experimental thing mainly because I want to keep this is off the books and keep Starfleet away from my mental state. Last thing I need is the Admiralty double question questioning my abilities.
All right, Mr. Ray, we'll do it your way. We'll do it your way then. And empathically, you get the sense that he's equal parts frustrated but concerned. Like before,
That
he was just annoyed with you. Now he's just like that. You know, he's concerned now that you're going to that. You're willing to do the experimental just so he doesn't know about it. It's like, oh, that seems serious.
and equal parts frustrated. I want to help you, damn it! Let me help you.
Yeah, it's like it's just a simple counseling session. It would take like a couple hours. We could just bang it out. No, okay, cool. Hopefully this works. So yeah, you're looking at a fitness medicine role with the station helping and the doctor helping.
All right. Medicine. No is screw it. Let's use a determination now. Understanding brings prosperity to all. I'm trying to understand this so we can learn and grow from this trauma and be better for it in the long run.
I'll give that to you.
And I will spend and a momentum for an extra dice. And let's do this. And the station's helping with computer
Since computers medicine, yeah. And
to determination.
so you hit the 3 plus 1 plus 2. You gain 2 momentum. As various image as the computer starts lights at you, and as you think about certain things in a certain way, it starts adjusting it and flashing different lights at you in different patterns until eventually you're seeing after images and you feel this weird migraine that's not behind your eyeballs but like an inch further in somehow, and your right eye is kind of wants to close a little bit, but yeah, the memory's there, but it isn't like dominating your thoughts as much anymore.
Take 2, call you in the morning.
I'm sorry, says the doctor.
It's some old Earth adage. I heard it
Oh.
before.
Yeah, I wouldn't take anything. Just take it easy.
I will appreciate your discretion in this.
Medical, doctor-patient privilege. It extends to me as much as anyone else. So.
Thank you. And well, I guess I return to ops.
Okay. We cut back to the scanning already in progress. as Magnus continues tapping away at his screen at his console. And Tamara, you've been in here for about an hour.
Doctor, have you concluded your scan?
Oh, we have quite a ways to go. I rummage around in my bag and I pull out a what looks like a tricorder and I pass it over to here. This has some oddities from the 20th century on it.
I do not need such a device.
Oh, just give it a try. You'll enjoy it. Well, you'll observe it. Enjoy is a strong word.
Doctor, I would really like to get to my analysis on the anomaly on the surface.
Oh, come on. I promise you'll get to it. I'll help you get to it. Just, open the device, have some fun. Well, press some buttons.
Will this not interfere with your scan, Doctor?
With a human, maybe, but, I don't think you're as susceptible to, Pong.
She just looks at the tricorder.
It's a
How
game
much
of Pong.
longer, Doctor?
We're at least a little more than a fourth of the way there. Maybe we're halfway there. It's new territory.
May I inquire as to what you're scanning precisely? Maybe I could assist.
Either your brain or yourself, depending on your philosophical point of view.
Just quirks an eyebrow.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start the next part of my scan. I'm gonna spend
I'm so dead.
3 momentum for the 4th dice.
Complications up to 3.
I'll go ahead and spend 3 threat for the 5th dice.
And one more complication.
Oh!
Well, I mean, I feel good for increasing the threat. I feel really good about that.
Yeah,
That feels like very
I'm
wise
back to the
spend.
same momentum.
God damn it. This bloody thing.
It's the Pong game. It's critical to the whole scanning process.
She's not
the ship
playing
helps roll. She's just holding it.
Oh,
Oh god. Come on, ship. Don't let me down. Damn it. Damn it.
yeah, I got kind of gun shy on spending to up complication range. It seems like a threat sink for a GM.
Cry. Yeah, it's six challenge dice.
And
Get all
4
zeros, darn you.
Oh, that's
there's a
still
lot.
6. Even with the resistance, that's another breakthrough. I don't think there's enough reason for me to spend for anything.
There's not.
Can I spend some of the momentum either for 1 or 2 advantages to have someone replicate and bring me data storage, like removable memory?
Oh god.
A pad would do that.
Well, technically it has to be
Is-
positronic brain.
Psh.
if for what I think he's
I didn't say
doing.
anything about that. I didn't say he was doing that.
I-
Although you would, but Tamira's right. You're gonna need something that advanced, more advanced than a pad.
So, since I'm not actually trying to build one or imbue consciousness in it, isn't it relatively simple to replicate a positronic brain? Because
Or
I'm not putting
some sort of complex data storage device, more complicated than a pad. Like its only function is data storage, rather than interaction and read write and all that.
But what if I want read write?
Um. Uh. You can spend 2 momentum, and then you can attempt a daring engineering roll, difficulty 2, to build it.
Gotcha. I will do that. 1 threat because I have bold.
I should charge escalation for this.
I guess does xenotechnology proc?
At increased complication, you might have heard of some alien.
I
Except
have an
you're-
engineering of 5, so I'll do that. I'll re-roll. Even with complication, I'm gonna re-roll the 0 because that's how confident I.
Gosh darn it. Gain 3 momentum.
I want my memories.
Oh, I'm not taking them away from you.
Not yet, anyway.
Well, not at all. I promise.
I don't.
No, there's no complications yet.
Yet. But yes. Oh, yeah, so Tamira, he does this. It's another hour.
Okay.
He walks off to another part of the lab and starts giving very complex instructions to the replicator. You can roll insight plus engineering, difficulty 2, to understand what he's trying to get the replicator to do.
Computers for a focus.
Yes, I'll give that to you.
Oh, I wish I could use science for this roll. You know what? I'm going to spend 2 momentum, and I'll give you a threat to roll 4.
Yay. I thought starting with low threat was going to be an issue.
Oh my god.
With that roll, whatever it is complicated and doesn't sound issue, whatever. And when it phases into being, yeah, that's not even Federation. That's a whole other species entirely. It looks like some sort of computing device by the sound of it, but beyond that, you have no clue what you just replicated.
Oh, so I want to see if this helps. It actually technically could help Tamira if I think I wanted it to. Since it's non-standard, can I give myself an advantage next time I go to use it? Because it does say any main character.
Yeah. This could be
Okay.
the weird thing that you might have even had this in your back pocket as, you know what? If I ever needed to do X, wouldn't this be a neat tool to replicate? Like, you probably by the end of it, you're like, oh, never mind, replicate Magnus experimental device number 25. And it just whoop.
Okay, so I will hold that in my pocket. I pull a special connector out of my bag, and I'm ready to use it whenever I get to a task relating to the things that I have replicated. Well, two connectors in this instance.
Do you have a bag of holding, but it's just a bag of weird?
It's called a replicator.
It's an engineer. It's a Starfleet core engineer with access to classified data
God damn
and
it.
a replicator. Oh no.
I mean, technically, this
I will
guy-
say, out of the 4 things I think I pulled out of the bag, one of them were unsolicited medications, and one of them was just a copy of the game Pong. So it's not like it's world-shattering.
Not yet.
Although I am kind of bummed that neither the narcotics nor the game of Pong have gone used.
You could just revert Tamira to a age of being a child, and she might take it up. But
If I should have given them both to the same person. Is this still me or?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
believe it's only work 10.
Yeah, I only did 5. The 6, one of the 6 was taken
Oh,
away.
right. So
So if I get 5, that should do it.
Yeah, because that will complete the
Yeah.
track and that will get you the extra breakthrough.
Okay, then it's difficulty 2.
Actually, no, you have to get one past.
Okay. Well, we have momentum, so
Double check.
I only need to get 2 out of the 6 challenge dice, and I could buy it off. Do I still get? Oh wait, the xenotechnology thing was for the other things, not for this task.
right.
The reverse
Oh, and as part of
engineering
the
was for this task, or was it?
reverse
I don't know.
engineering, and the second breakthrough I'll tell you is that, especially given the device you've created, you shouldn't. What you want to do won't cause degradation of the data
Okay.
because you're getting such a clear image.
Okay. I'll spend 3. I'll spend 3 momentum for the 4th deck.
Increase complication by 1.
I'll spend 2 to get rid of the complication.
You don't have to.
No, but I earned 4 momentum on the roll.
Yeah. So instead of getting 4 back, he gets 2 back.
Oh, right.
2 momentum gained, and plus the ship.
That, for some reason, coming from a GM, it always sounds like a threat and not an advantage. Okay.
Sorry, you gained 3 momentum.
8.
That's 8.
7.
Yep.
That completes it.
That does it.
Yeah, so that's hour 3, I think. By the end of hour 3, the machine whirs to a close, and you're able to upload the data where you want, Doctor.
Can I basically make like a virtual machine inside the ship's computer and isolate it so that things that are inside the virtual machine cannot get out?
Daring science difficulty 2.
Computers?
Yeah. The ship even helps with computers plus science. Because sometimes having a better processor actually matters. Hashtag not an ad for better processors.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna turn around to Tamira and, Commander, you wouldn't mind helping me create a virtual machine so that we can communicate with you?
Did you just, Doctor? Did you just copy my synapses?
That's why we came here.
I was not informed of this process, Doctor. This is highly illegal.
Not if you have consent from the patient. You came here
I
with
did not
me.
give you consent. It was merely to perform a scan to find
That
any
was a
anomalous
scan.
reading.
Okay, well, bygones are bygones. It's a mistaken understanding. We'll next time we'll write a form.
Very well, Doctor.
All of that was to get an assist. What was the roll?
That was Oh,
daring
crime.
science difficulty.
Daring
2?
science difficulty of 2.
Okay. I
Eagles will
will.
make it difficulty 3.
Wait, it's what? Oh, for threat, you said? You spent threat to increase it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna buy a dice and hope that that was enough to get Prex involved, or Tamir involved.
Assuming Tamira willingly helps you with this.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm just,
Oh, I've been rolling the outpost this whole time. Probably doesn't oh, it doesn't really matter. Actually, we
okay.
might need to check because medicine is lower by 1. I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't see anywhere that it would matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, ship rolls computer plus
Oh, I didn't.
science.
That's a
that's better.
14.
Yeah, no.
No.
Roll the 17. And Tamira, you can roll to assist. You might get a momentum out of it. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, you create a a complex program data like that, and keep it separated from the rest of the ship.
I plug up both of the storage devices, but I'm only activating the non-standard one, the one that seems to be the copy. Can I tell the difference between the two, or?
Oh yeah, that was part of the breakthrough.
Okay, then I want to see if we can talk to the one that is seemed to be created by the anomaly. But for visual's sake, I think it's on a command line, like an old chat box.
Okay.
I start out by just typing. Could you state your name, rank, and serial number?
Lieutenant Commander Tamira. Serial number 61789-Alpha 27.
Oh, everything seems to be working. Did you want to ask yourself anything? Okay, anyways.
No, I would not. It would be quite illogical for me to ask myself something, Doctor. What sort of information are you trying to gather that you couldn't just ask me?
So, out of character, I thought this would be a cool thing to do, and I'm glad I did it, but I also have no idea how it's going to help. I just realized what is the other brain going to know that I don't already know? Okay, I want to like set up like a adaptive like questionnaire that's going to like basically ping each of the brains for information, and I want to gather data and see if I can isolate why one is different from the other, and I want to eventually extract that information to see if I could prevent that process from taking place.
Oh, in addition, of all known techniques for synaptic transfer and most similar techniques of mental transferness, results in the death of the subject being scanned.
Can we say that we all missed that part and just gloss
Oh
over
no
it?
no. I didn't miss it. If you rolled a complication and it went too badly, Tamara was a dead woman. Just pointing that out. If you screwed this
think
up, she
we're-
was.
I think we're learning that not everyone is so focused on consequences.
Oh no, I learned that a while ago.
Well, I guess the good news is if I do die, I will have an android body to still play Tamira with.
There's actually two. One of them is the normal one, and one of them is the one that the anomaly created. They're separated.
Wouldn't there be 3?
Well, you're both. You're
Oh,
A, B,
you're
and
the
he separated A
combination.
and B.
Because Tamira technically experienced 3 different realities.
Do we need to retcon that I have 3 brains?
Oh shoot, you're right. Yeah, you have 3 brains.
Okay.
Tamira's right.
I still want to see what's different between the one that's been unaltered and the 2 that have been altered. And okay, you already gave me a roll for that, so
Good God.
it does have knowledge for knowledge sake. So,
I know.
Does computers help here, or linguistics? Does linguistics help?
Computers helps.
Okay. I'll spend 3 momentum.
Okay.
Also, today I learned you can play the game mostly with momentum.
You just
Or you know.
learned that. I'm okay. I'm not
No!
feeling bad about a different ship. That's all.
I've learned that. So, I kind of learned that it's a viable strategy as compared to the threat dump. And
The threat dump's all fun and games until, someone dies.
I was about to say the threat dump does seem to consistently end with me committing physical violence against someone of a superior station. So, I'm sure
What did we
Tamira is
learn?
glad.
Don't give Winchester power.
I mean, Thursday me is very sad about that statement. Hi. So we're going to.
Oh, I
it
get 2
was-
momentum. Ship assist.
Yeah. There you go. So what was your query again?
I want to know what the difference is between the original brain A and the altered brains B and C is. And I want
B's divergent point starts at childhood. And it seems to be linked with the memory of the what happened to Sarek. Sarek?
Sarek would have been alive into Tamira's 20s.
No, I'm the Vulcan father of all philosophy.
Surak.
Surok. So the fate of Surok is a divergence points between A and B. So A lived a life where Surok lived a certain way, B lived a life where Surok was a certain way, and that changed how her life progressed. She still turns to a similar person, but her outlook is very different. Like Vulcan philosophy is changed quite drastic, is changed in significant ways. C doesn't start there. C starts at when the Artemis arrived at Andon's Landing. C is the darkest sketch Tamira, who is war-battled and desperate and trying to save the world, save Andon's Landing from a dictator.
Do I see a way that applying a... Okay, is it possible to make another brain D, which is a copy of A, and attempt to make the change on D that would create B. I want to see if I can create that so that it's possible to prevent that change. In a sense, I want to be able to prevent the new memories from forming.
That would be an extended test that will take you days per attempt. Because you have to be very careful what you're messing with, because some things could screw up and you need to watch for the slightest movement.
Okay, then I'll turn around to Tamira. I think I have everything I need to prevent you from adding a fourth set of memories? Or me from adding a second one? Oh, I could get rid of the other 2 sets if you wanted to lose those. Well,
No,
I say
I'm
I
quite
could.
fine, Doctor.
Well, I would let you keep one of them if you wanted to mess around with it in your off time, but I really don't want it getting loose on the computer. I've never taken that EVA suit off. In fact, if we could get a little graphic to put over me.
Doctor, you do realize you've created 3 separate individuals from my memories. They do have rights under Federation law.
I don't think we've established their sentience yet.
If you want
I
other tests,
turn
we
around-
could maybe use the holodeck.
I want to turn around to the console and ask all 3 of them if they need a lawyer. All of them say yes.
Yes. Yes.
c-
Yes.
Commander, are you aware of any legal professionals that are aware of our current situation?
Not aboard the station currently.
We may have to invoke Article 31.
What is Article 31?
I meant Section 31.
Yeah. Article 31 section.
Notwithstanding all your current rights, the Federation needs. So X is happening.
We need shut down. X is happening with or without your consent. It'd be easier if you did consent.
I will type back in. I'm working on getting you a lawyer. It'll be a while. In the meantime, would you mind working with me and Tamira to get to the bottom of some problem?
And all of them will reply, why would I need to work with myself? It is illogical.
I run a quick Pong executable and I turn around to Tamira. there may have been some things that I did not consider. This will take some analysis.
Perhaps having them a physical form or holographic form might better help them understand their current circumstance.
There is a reason we put them in a virtual machine.
This is very true, but they are individuals.
And as much as I trust you as a fellow Starfleet officer, do we trust them? I mean, do you trust yourself?
I have
And
survived
if you do
this
trust
long.
yourself, which one?
Tamira, just nah. I don't have to fire it. No, go continue. Never.
This is highly illogical, Dr. Questionnaire. I would trust myself completely. Though
Oh,
my
I got the
experience
person.
are of all three. Each one of them has their own individual experiences. The one that has the previous one of the realities that I experienced was most rather traumatic. There might be some psychological issues.
We could use a shuttle. None of the shuttles have holodecks.
I believe the thanks. General chat, by the way. I believe the holodeck is a secure platform, as it runs on its own internal sensors, power, and environmental systems.
Okay, we could do that. And now I'm like, oh, I have an idea for you. It may help you. And I kind of fiddle around in my bag and pull out. This is a communicator. You press it, and it will transport you to a random location on the ship. It's if you want to have some fun with randomness and illogic, you should try it out sometime. Never know where you might end up.
She seems very puzzled. I have a
Here.
communicator. Why
Just
would
try
I
this
need
one.
this one?
You should just try it.
And I'm just gonna cut over to Station Op. Those two are over here. Commander Ray, you've what have you been up to the last couple hours?
Avoiding that bullshit.
I
I could just smell it from the airlock. I'm just like, nope, out. No, I would probably just be like working standard starbase operations, making sure our crew rotations are good, that ships are getting in and out when they need to. You know, busy work.
give me Insight Command difficulty 2.
And now I'm gonna need to be transported somewhere random.
Focus and composure.
I'll give it to you.
I don't know what we're doing, but sure. And I got rid of the increased difficulty for that.
Yep, because you got treatment.
I got my drugs.
You got flashing lights of healing.
Yay.
You gain a momentum, but it's a new scene, so you don't gain anything. Because you finished the thing from, so you would have been down one anyway. But the station does help with this. Actually, no. I'll say it is because it's not. It's an insight roll. Duh. Actually, no. I'll let you. I'll have the station. That makes sense to me.
Station helps.
Yeah.
What's the station help with?
Cool. There are a couple things that are on mind right now. You are made aware that around as 3 hours have passed since Magnus and Tamira disappeared for their little experiment. At that 3 hour mark, you're aware that they're continuing to do their work on the Artemis. As the
Yeah.
Artemis just updates you on, like, yeah, they're still down there. They seem to be fine. No complaints.
And I see nothing wrong with this at all, because scientists go away for a long time and nothing bad ever happens.
I know, right? Another thing you discover is that there are some sightings of the supposed Scream of the Reach mothership near
Okay.
Frederick M system.
That's striking distance of us.
And this is supported by traffic from some of the civil freighters that have come back from that region, and some have survived. To talk about that, that's where they last saw it, and they just ran for it.
What's up here? What are some
Unexplored space is actually I'll use my arrow. All this orange bit is Tholian. Up that way is Cardassian space, but straight out that way is unexplored space.
just wild, just wild untamed space?
It's deep unexplored space with possibly with expeditions by Tholians or the Talarians. One would presume the Cardassians, except the war just happened not that long ago, so they're probably not doing a whole lot of outward expansion right now.
The Cardassians are a little busy internally.
Yeah, but this sector here is sort of, it was being examined when the war started, and then they just, Starfleet's just never gotten around to sending exploration ships out here. Like your ship is the furthest one out right now. The nearest other ships are like out. The 10th isn't here yet, but the other fleet that's here, whose name I have not given, but they're out that way.
And there's DS9, but they're way up north.
They're way up north, yeah. I'd say like 5 sectors that way.
Yeesh.
And
part of my standing orders is to explore that, or is it more just keep Andon's Landing as a foothold?
it's to get Andon's Landing established right now, because right now they haven't had Starfleet assistance this whole time, because the nearest starbase was the nearest place a ship came from was Starbase 214 and Starbase 21. So rarely did Andon's Landing all the way out here get service. There's like, and actually I'll show you a different screen and find it. And actually we need to go there anyway because it's related to your next problem. Oh wow, that map's out of date like crazy. I gotta fix it. Anyway, here's your third problem. So in this region of space, this is the sector map. Your nearest like base in the sector is all the way over in. Okay, that's not the scale, obviously, because I didn't fix this properly. But is Deep Space T1, along with outposts 11, the outposts along the Tholian. But Deep Space T1 or Tholian 1 is the other place, but they're not really positioned to help you. They're positioned to protect the border and make sure the Tholians don't come across screaming across, attacking the worlds. Grazer is the Grazer planet. Grazer system has Grazerites on it, and they have moons that are known as a popular vacation spot. So normally people would come through here, and they'd come through Grazer, and then go. If Starfleet needed to do something, they'd go this way. No one came out this way, except for a patrol route.
Because there's nothing interesting out this way, and we're trying to make it interesting.
Yeah, and now you've become especially interesting because of that darn gate. It's like, uh-oh, but you're trying not to let the other space powers know that something interesting's out here. Hence why they haven't said a galaxy or sovereign out here, because that would have all the attention.
They just send a galaxy.
They send a galaxy rarely.
Yeah, as part of a patrol route. So instead of one of the refits, like they send a galaxy out, and that galaxy, hey, something, probably supply run, and now we're leaving. Rather than we send a galaxy and it's replacing the ship that's there, and they're gonna be that would grab attention of why'd they change to a bigger ship? Why'd they do that? They just sent in that one. That's weird. Why'd they change the entire station staff? That's weird. These planets here these stars and systems are not heavily explored because they kind of went from Grazer, some basic TOS era exploration, and then Tholians. Like, we're gonna be worried about this area first.
We're worried about this area first, and the rest of these are just planets, stars, nothing interesting.
There might be something interesting there, but nothing that's been in the last few years has nothing strategically relevant. There's some scientific expeditions that are out here this way sometimes. But the big issue you're hearing is that apparently the Tholians actually want to send someone out to this star for a shared scientific expedition, which is incredibly weird because the Tholians are super xenophobic. And the fact that they're asking this one here.
Okay. How far away is that?
It's within the sector, so if you were to go at... I have a chart for this to save myself time. He says not finding it right away. Where is it? There it is. If you were to warp over there right now at warp 9, it would take you inside 5 days to get there.
So a little bit more than a day trip, but not like we're packing up the house and leaving.
Yeah, and you're learning this from Deep Space T1 because they're in talks about it. They haven't approved. They're still waiting for the diplomacy to clear, but they're letting you know about it because you're the other station in the sector. Just so you don't panic if you see a Tholian coming across. Just thought we'd let you know. And let people know that this, if this does go by, that there's going to be a class 5 travel advisory to not go there without Starfleet assistance.
Okay, so we'll make sure civilian traffic doesn't go in that direction. Which they shouldn't have a reason to, but just put a general travel advisory.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Whoops, no, I wanted to change back. Yeah. So that's the news you learned after listening to the various reports that have been going on back and forth across your traffic.
Okay, I want to make sure that the general advisory, general travel advisory not to go to that southern or rim world or system doesn't go out.
I actually left the numbers on there to save myself time, so I know where everything is. That is H. Four. Oh, sorry, Void.
Yep, that works.
And I'll translate it over into our Discord later. But yeah, any other orders before we cut back to the mad scientist portion of the episode?
Damn it. Okay, so we have the travel advisory. Didn't you say there's something going on with Grazer Station itself, or just they're directing traffic?
Wait, problem one was the mothership. Problem two was the advisory.
Okay, problem one's the mothership. Let's just keep the tabs on it.
Oh, right. Problem three is that there is currently there's elections going on in the colony for a new Vulcan counselor, and there is an ongoing murder investigation, missing persons investigation regarding what happened to the Vulcan counselor because he went missing.
Very suddenly, and I totally don't have any idea what happened there. Haha.
I don't think you actually do, unless Tamira told you.
I did not.
So yeah. Oh, and also, in the logs on the, where GM notations and station spacecraft and all that, up top you can see there's a bit that says emergency council transcript. You have access to that log, and all that is in effect. It's a bit of a read, but it's the last emergency meeting right after the riot, and that was about a week ago when this happened, and you've been given a copy of that transcript by this point.
Okay, I will look at that later. But as far as the, I don't suppose I can. I kind of want to send the Artemis on a picketing patrol, just along the Federation and border towards the. Yeah, I want to schedule a picketing patrol of the Artemis along the Federation border, or next to the unexplored space. Just right here, just kind of wave the flag and say, hey, there's a starship here.
Yeah. I'll actually go to more local space. Hold on.
Yeah.
Because.
Can we send the station?
Well, you can. It would just take forever.
It just has worse labs.
It's also much slower. So to give you an idea, up this all on the A range. Past that is a bit of a unclaimed space between the Federation and the Talarians. Out that way is more Federation space where the Megara sector is. And that way is the unexplored frontier.
The black.
And if you go that way past Grazer, that part of the sector leads deeper into the Federation. This leads to another edge of the frontier for the Federation. You go that way. And of course, this way leads to the whatchamacallit? The
Tholians.
Tholians. Good God.
Okay. I do want to have a. Okay, not like right this second, but I do want to do a picketing patrol from like here up along here, and just kind of like do a loop and just say, hey, there's a Federation starship here. Better watch out. We're keeping an eye on you, bro.
Okay, yeah. And actually, what I'll do, so I don't forget that's on the docket, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's on the docket.
Okay, so I'm gonna put little markers to indicate patrol route.
Yeah, it's just like swing on the far side of Grazer and then just kind of like loop back around.
It's more like that. I'll spread that out. Do you want to go past the halfway point? Yeah, we could probably go. Do you want to go to point here, or do you want to go deeper into deeper south, as it were, in your patrol route?
Let's go south. Maybe like 3 more hex, and that'd be good.
1, 2, 3. So that's 2, so 3.
Yep, that works.
Okay. So future mission on the docket. Do you let anyone else know that you're intending to do that, or are you just letting your... You're not required to, but it's considered nice to let other ships in the sector know what you're up to, especially Starfleet ships, so they know why you're out there.
I do want to let Starfleet ships know. I'll schedule it for like 2 days from now, and just kind of like let everyone know. Oh, that okay, this is gonna be a thing we're gonna do. We're gone for this amount of time. Which if we do that at warp 9, and that's probably gonna be like what, a couple weeks, or a week or so.
From point to point, you're looking at... Sorry, from... Let me do some quick math here. Well, not math, because I'm using a the book's hand wavy warp factor chart. So from here, for the full route.
That's doable. And if anything does happen at Andon's Landing, and we still have more warp factors that we can just turn around and book it back.
Exactly. And actually, what you're proposing is a normal thing that stations do. They have their garrison ship, and it flies out, does a quick patrol or research thing. The Defiant for DS9 would do stuff like that. Although they actually went even further, because they went into the Gamma Quadrant.
They went to the Gamma Quadrant, which wasn't that far away. So
I suppose. Any other orders that you want to put on the docket?
Problem 3, Klingon Election Council. I just kind of want like standard news reports of how that election's going, like once every 6 hours.
You can give me control plus presence plus con, or insight plus con. Diff 2. Actually, hold on, I'll write that up. Ah! Ships, sorry. Not ships.
Okay.
And that's just to make sure you get all the information, the pertinent information, and not just overloaded with, minutia that doesn't really matter to you as a station. Like, hey, this guy promised to do more prayers often. Like, I don't particularly care about that.
Focus on interstellar law, persuasion.
I'll give you interstellar law, because this sort of feels like you're making sure the election's actually fair.
Make sure the election's fair, and just kind of getting a read of who's in political power down there.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure who's writing the laws. Okay. Station add-on.
Oh, gaining momentum. Yeah. I owe you one write-up about the current political situation.
All right.
And I'll actually remind myself of that in the Discord chat, because that is relevant. There. So I remember to do that homework later. And with that, we'll cut over to Tamira and her triplets.
Tamara, have you met Tamara? Tamara, this is Tamara. Tamara, glad to see you met Tamara.
This is gonna be interesting.
You've been so full of yourself, you played yourself in triplicate.
All right, Magnus and Tamara, what are you two up to? Research
thi-
project.
I think we've moved all of Tamira, the Tamiras, to the
Tamara, is that the plural?
Tamira's.
I'll be right back, but feel free to role play as the holographic starts calibrating for the 3 Tamiras.
So how should we distinguish between each of you? We could make this one look like a Gorn.
I believe my current appearance should be suffice. Perhaps a change of clothes would be appropriate.
Probably best for you to dress yourself.
That would be most logical. She puts in the parameters. Pretty much standard Vulcan wardrobe, except they're just in 3 different colors. One white, one black, one red.
And I'm back.
Playing dress up.
I'm sorry.
The Tamiras the holographic ones are going to be in 3 different clothing, one white, one black, and one red. Of a standard
Okay.
Vulcan attire.
Because we definitely needed to pick something that didn't easily correlate to the red, blue, and green you gave us.
What was that? White,
Black,
black,
and red.
and red.
I think we know which one's the evil one here.
Darkest sketch. Sorry.
That racist? Feels racist.
So yeah, 3 Tamiras come into being on the holodeck and dressed in different clothing.
You wish to establish sentience, Doctor.
Oh, this gives us a problem. See, the normal test is to see if I could tell the difference between you and a computer, but you're Vulcan. This may complicate the normal form.
Do Vulcans mess up on the Turing test?
They're just gonna. They may just seem like computers.
I assure you, Doctor, there are slight emotional responses that I will incur. Vulcans are not completely without emotion. We merely suppress it.
Anyways, I don't feel I don't feel it necessary to establish sentience because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they're all sentient. I'm imagining that this
all 4
whole
raise an eyebrow.
I was about to say, I'm imagining this whole conversation has taken place in front of the other three. Well, if y'all don't mind, I think we should get started. And I ask for a computer console with 5 sides to come up, with 5 different displays come up, and I kind of just pull up my idea for distilling the way in which they're different and coming up with something to prevent that difference from taking place. Because I don't actually need to talk with them. I mean, Tamira could if Tamira wants to be introspective. I'm just using the free labor.
All right. Well, this is weird.
You're telling me.
I am. That's what GMs do. Ha 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 ha. So you're trying to see if you. Oh yeah, it's the. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll make this a scientific method problem. That sounds like a good idea.
That seems like a personal opinion.
I need an adult.
Look, just because you have progressive.
I was actually about to ask that. Since we've moved out of the laboratory, I don't think I get that anymore, unless bringing up the
True.
consoles counted.
Working out of the holodeck for a specified purpose, like you're not making it a Robin Hood simulation or let's all talk in a bar. It's like no, we're making a holographic lab. It's not ideal. You won't get a bonus from the lab itself like you would in the modular, but it's a space dedicated for lab work.
Okay.
But
Can I proc theory into practice?
not yet. But the first thing we're gonna deal with is making some basic observations about the problem. Whether you now do you wish to observe this through an engineering, science, or medicine lens? It's a difficulty 1 check. This is just to establish what discipline we're going to be focusing on for this particular examination.
I prefer engineering, but I think I might have 4 people here with a very high science. To not be meta about it, I'll say that I would come at it from an engineering perspective primarily.
Does this count as adding 4 support for the artist? Anyway, well, 3.
We'll
Anyway,
have to discuss that later because they're technically. They
Yeah,
don't
we
have
can't get rid
bodies.
of them now. That would be murder.
It would be murder now at this point.
I would be the
No,
first.
We should let the commanding officer know about this. Have him throw a conniption fit.
I feel like the fewer authorities involved, the better. One threat for bold.
Okay.
Does reverse engineering work here? Or
At this stage, no. You're just trying to. At this stage, I wouldn't say so.
computers?
Yes.
Okay. I'll spend the 2 on the complication.
Okay, so nothing gained, nothing lost. So coming at this from an imaging viewpoint is valid. So we're past the observation stage. If you've chosen something that didn't make sense for a certain problem, I might say, nope, you have to roll again for a different problem. And that might change timing. But anyway, we're now at the hypothesis stage. Research lead is the person with the highest engineering. So I'm going to do a quick look at all of your focuses, all 5 of you. It won't take me very long, I promise.
Well, 4 of them
I
are
feel like I'll be
easy.
able to do 1 and can't imagine why. All right. So, what are the focuses you think make the most sense? Adding a bit of explanation might help, but feel free to. There is one correct answer that I have in my head, but if you go with an out of the box one, I might let you take a swing at it anyway. It's suggested to choose between 3 and 5. All 5 of you can throw in some ideas.
Well, I think computers. Or wait, so what is this task to do exactly?
You're trying to figure out how to prevent memories from being created and what process allows for the new memories to be created. What is the difference? What is that turnover point? And if you can find that, how exactly you can prevent it from happening.
Oh, do you do the version where you got the focuses from us? Or do you do like you just think of 3?
Sometimes the right answer is one I have in my head ahead of time, and that's the one that's stuck. Sometimes I look at your focuses and go, no, that's a better answer. Somewhere in there is a out of the box one that's probably chosen from your focuses, especially if someone gives me a really good explanation that makes sense to me. Whether or not you know that made sense to me is something you'd have to find out in step 3. But normally I choose from focuses that you could get at, unless you're doing something really outside of your field. Like if you're trying to chart a course around a really bad nebula, I'm like, well, that's a piloting problem. So neither of you, for example, would have. Oh, well, you might. You know what I mean?
Well, then probably xenotechnology.
I'm gonna say quantum mechanics.
I don't have anything. Yeah, we can take quantum mechanics. So quantum mechanics, xenotechnology, and neurology. I can write those out if we need to.
Please do, yeah. That way I know which ones you're definitely going, because you could be throwing back and forth ideas. I want to see a quantum mech right now. Build it.
Yes, neurology. I worked so hard to find something that rhymed and I couldn't get it.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? Well, obviously.
Well, I didn't want two techs.
Ah, I see.
That seemed derivative.
I'm glad that was the priority. Any other focuses you're going to throw into the hypothesis pool?
We should just do the 3 first. And
Yeah,
see.
I think so.
I don't know. Put in 10. That seems productive.
That
All our focuses.
sounds
Probably.
horrible.
We both have computers, so we only have 9 that overlap, or 8 that overlap. Yeah, 9. 10.
So you have
11.
those.
Sorry.
So those are your 3: xenotech, quantum mechanics, and neurology.
Yes.
Yes. A right answer is in there. So now we go to testing. Choose a focus you're going to chase down. Primary actor roles. If you have a focus, say yes. If you don't have that focus, say no. And the difficulty is, who knows? You get a certain amount of successes. Either I don't say anything and you have to keep going, or I say something and you probably have the right one.
Are we allowed to know if there's an out of the box in the 3?
It's possible that you could have a right answer collection. You might have only the right answer or only the out of the box in there.
Oh, okay.
And if you have neither, then you would be told that and get a threat.
So we chased down one. Technically cannot be over a difficulty 10.
Unless it's like super, super out of this world, but 10's supposed to be the ceiling, because why bother at that point?
I feel like the pro strat is neurology, but I really am liking xenotech. Because I feel like there may be someone who solved a similar problem before that we can adapt. We could definitely throw some Borg stuff in here.
Can we not throw Borg Dandites at the holographic Vulcan?
Oh, just put it in the real Vulcan.
Can we not? Just no.
Self-replicating Tiburas. I like the idea.
Oh, we've decided we're
Daddy,
doing
I'm
xenotech.
scared.
So what's the roll?
The roll is no.
Oh yeah, we established.
You know, because of the research angle and using reason a lot, I really debated asking if I could play an android, but I thought it was be too far. I really wanted that positronic brain.
You made 3 of them.
Yeah, but you have them, not me. And also, I'm pretty sure the easy part is making the android body now, so I'm pretty sure we could have 3 android Tamiras.
Should do it. It will mess with Ray.
Hey, new people get recruited. We already have a sheet for you. Don't worry, you're color-coded for your convenience.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Well, let's go ahead and spend all 6 momentum on the task roll. Oh,
Am I assuming
actually,
I'm rolling 4 times for the assist here?
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna roll the task roller at 4.
just to save time.
Just to save time.
take one of those momentum back and spend a threat so I can get bold engineering. Oh, and does theory into practice come into effect here?
You have to roll at least once on this, so
Oh,
not this
okay.
roll, but next roll. Actually, theory into practice. Oh, theory into practice helps in a different way.
Theory
When
into
you're getting-
practice, you gain additional D20 from testing a theory talent. You reduce the difficulty by 1. So if I'm attempting an engineering or science that is related to something I've done previously.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, then I'm actually.
But it doesn't activate this time around. It'll activate next time you roll.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So that's
That's 9.
give you a threat and spend 1 momentum to cure the complication that the red materia Tamira rolled.
See, I told you she was the evil one.
so you gave me 1 threat, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna spend 2. Well, yikes. On the Xenotech route, you do have an answer. Basically, what you can do is there is a method used by a certain alien race that you can basically combine the 2 consciousnesses into the same system, same vessel, and then you can observe how their destructive capacity resolves, and that will give you answers as to what is what the catalyst point is. And once you know what that is, then it's just simply a matter of counteracting that catalyst through various fields or energy fields or sonic fields as required.
Yeah, I think that's right out because that would involve killing 1 or 2 of the fake Tamiras.
Yeah, not exactly a Federation tech you just learned, but it's a way that someone else found a solution to a similar, and it would theoretically work, and even in this case.
I'm gonna take a guess and say that was a out of the box. So should we try again on neurology? Or are we allowed to try again?
You can continue looking down each avenue. It's there.
Yeah, we have 1 solution. I feel like that solution might involve tempting 2 Vulcan AIs to attempt to take over the ship to save their lives. So
I'll also
thrilled about that.
I'll helpfully point out that since you got at least 1 right answer, and you've established it, that doesn't necessarily mean the other 2 are right. So you may want to go back to hypothesis again to do a quick check that you still have something that's usable. You don't have to. You can just chase down each avenue and hope it comes out of it. The longer you take, the less time you'll have to before the Artemis has to take off somewhere. Because that roll there took you a whole day of just raw talking it out, looking up stuff, discussing among yourselves, and then getting to the okay, which scary as that was, in 1 day you just came up with this out of the box theory of, well, we could do it this way. It would work. There are certain problems with that for obvious reasons.
Not to mention, ethical problems.
Yeah.
Those have never stopped us before.
Never stopped you before.
That's classified. Why are you saying stuff like that, Commander?
The only thing I really have... I have reverse engineering, but that is basically the same logic we used on Xenotech. So I don't think that's going to work. I have linguistics, but I don't know what... That doesn't make sense to me. I have electroplasma power systems, which also doesn't make any sense.
What
Shockingly, it does not.
Going back, so all the new member engrams were caused by a shift in reality. So some sort of quantum entanglement could be the result of the memories with the different realities, which means those realities were really created, but more like shifted individuals to them.
would quantum resonance be a different focus than quantum mechanics?
It would fall under quantum mechanics.
Then I say we do quantum mechanics.
You're just gonna try to chase that down, see what happens. Okay.
Curiosity, was this? I'm assuming we're still in engineering for this, or are we switching to more of a scientific methodology instead of looking at it from an engineering perspective?
If you want to switch, you'll have to go back to step 1 to see if you can come at it from a science.
I think we stay at our engineering. I mean, I don't think, unless you've got a really great talent, I don't think there's an advantage to it.
I have bold science, and then I'm rolling 17 on reason science, and I have the focus.
I'm rolling 16, but I'm about to get theory into practice, I think, which will reduce the difficulty and give me an additional d20. But that's engineering or science. Oh, but it wouldn't matter if I was assisting because that would be a d20.
Mm-hmm.
I think we stick with engineering.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not against it. I just.
So what we doing, boss?
And I will say, depending if you do it the engineering or science or medicine way, it does change what the answer is, like what the method you're using is.
Medicine is off the table. I mean, I think we both got good medicine scores, but no focuses or talents. I mean, talents.
Yeah, put it to you that way. If you find a solution related to a discipline, that's probably the discipline you'll have to use to achieve the thing you want to do. More often than not, it's usually not something weird like you now have to shoot somebody to get that to happen.
Oh, well, then I guess that makes sense why we shouldn't be doing neurology on an engineering focus and we should be doing it on a medicine. So that probably means the same for quantum mechanics. So yeah, we can switch to science because that does make more sense.
So that's the reason science roll difficulty 1 for whoever's is going to see about taking the lead.
Yeah, I think I don't have the talents here, so I'll assist.
Take a threat.
Hurrah.
I'm assuming, is there a focus for this or not with the quantum mechanics?
Something like research or something of that nature.
Okay.
And actually, I'll let you use your quantum mechanics focus because you are trying to come at it from because it's related to stuff about the gate and all that. Gain 3 momentum.
The other 3 assist.
Yes.
So that's, well, we're at 4 momentum right now. And we're capped. It's the future brain trust. Okay. So yeah.
So we got 8 on a. So we have one floating.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have anything related to that task, but I think when we get to it, I can. Since would oh, never mind.
Yeah.
It's an engineering. It's a science task, not an engineering task.
Yeah.
I should have used that last go around.
I wasn't bringing it up. It's like, maybe he'll think of it on his own.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
Okay, so using based on the 3, you're gonna go at it from a quantum mechanics angle. For the
What are your 3?
Can we do?
We do the same 3 again?
No, I think we do quantum. We do temporal mechanics,
and then
and we do.
neurology.
No, because I definitely do think that's more of a medical focus.
Unified field theory.
Is there like a Star Trek word for what, like psionics? What basically what Vulcans and Beta Zeds have?
Yeah, I call it sonic.
Okay, can we
There's different words for it.
Can we do psionics too?
I think that might be more medicine though.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking so too, but like there's definitely enough that's not known about it. I feel like in the Star Trek world that it also could fall under science. Anyways, I was kind of struggling for a third one.
Well, I have 2 of those focuses from a science angle.
Oh, I don't have any of these, but we don't need to have any of these, I don't think.
No, you can even suggest stuff that's not even on your focus list. That's how sometimes out of the box happens.
Yeah, that's
Suggest
why.
something way outside of their realm and be like, oh, and the GM goes, oh, well, I guess that would work.
Yeah, that's why I don't think we should do psionics first. That's definitely the third one we do.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll just do those 3.
Yes.
Probably start at quantum.
Yeah. Giving you a threat.
Okay.
Spending 5 momentum to roll 6 or 5.
It's 6.
Plus the 3 assists from the other Tamiras. So 8.
Scientific method is a lot easier if you start playing, you know, God and stuff and start creating people.
So we have 8. We could just do one more roll. And are we under a time interval for this?
4.
Yeah.
As you get to that point in your research, you were informed by ship's operations that the Artemis is preparing to launch for its patrol route.
I think we should stay. I would stay. I don't
Okay.
want to go back to the station.
Well, I plan on staying, but
I think we do go in again just on to also to cross this off the list and generate momentum that we can use on the next go around.
technically can't generate momentum.
That's the problem.
Oh.
That's why that's why I was giving you the observe way to go into a scientific method. It's a way to get steam and then jump at it.
I can do one more. I'll just roll 3 plus 4 assist after that.
Okay.
So take a threat, so I have the reroll. Reroll that complication. Well, so 8, 10, 12, 14 total successes on it, which is beyond the 10.
Can you put so much work into something that it works anyways?
No.
So yeah,
I'm actually not liking temporal mechanics
let's go with
now that I think about it.
let's go with psionics.
Yeah, because temporal mechanics, we haven't really seen anything that suggests temporal mechanics, because it's often described as reality bending and not time bending. So yeah, let's try psionics.
No focus.
Meanwhile, you're without your science officer during your. They're in the
Can't-
holodeck again. They're just continuing their work.
It's patrol. Nothing happens. at
I
patrol.
feel like we've worked past any humanitarian violations that I may have done in this think tank session.
How many dice should I roll?
Oh, we lost.
Yeah, we're getting fairly late into it, so
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of wrapping it up here and catching up next episode because the patrol route is gonna have something happen on.
Yeah. Let's just do this real quick then, and see if we get enough for psionics.
Okay,
Not.
one more roll for Sonics.
What? 6 threat?
Yeah, go for it.
6 threat. It is. There's 6 successes.
Oh, you get the one reroll.
Yeah, I'll go do it the one reroll. 7. Eight.
Yes, there is a psionic method to deal with this problem.
It's too bad that almost only one person has psionic capability.
Because once hey Ray,
Yeah, my internet it hiccuped.
oh, I was just pointing out to them as well that this last roll we're going to be wrapping up because it's getting fairly late as it is. But the answer that they just is that sonically, once you know what sonic the person needs, you can to prevent someone from getting the new memory, they have to be in a certain sonic state going into it. And there are certain methods that various species use, like deltans and betazoids, like various sonic sciences have ways of controlling your mind. And if you keep your mind centered enough and you block out all thought, that isn't all new thoughts, sort of creating this staticism, the static state of mind, you won't get any new memories. The problem is you kind of go into you kind of become unresponsive because you're shutting yourself out for psychically. This method can be done naturally by people sonic anyway, so Vulcans, Betazoids, Deltans. For anyone who isn't, they either need a drug cocktail, and that might work to kind of force them into that sort of zeroed, almost like a walking coma state, where that can work. It's just that for non-sonic people, that's dangerous because that could cause other complications. But scientifically, yeah, there is a sonic way to have that problem. There is a way to stop new memories from occurring if you don't want them to. Even something like this, because those three are a good example. It's theoretically, yeah, it's because the theory is the same. Whether it's quantum reality memories or someone telling you about their favorite grandmother, you can block out memories because that's how sonics controls your mind. Now, whether or not you continue your research or not to find even more answers, if there are any more answers, or if you report to Commander Ray what you found out so far.
Is there a way to psionically remove those memories as part of like
Yeah.
the science officer? Like,
Even without science officer, I'll give it to you part of the scientific method. You can. It just requires a strong enough psychic person to kind of. You can chemically do it. It's a sort of neurological surgery, and you can edit memories out. Like that's actually a thing they have in the TNG era. You can edit memories, especially with species you're very familiar with. Psychics can do it too, but you need a Vulcan with mind meld or an equivalent power to kind of very carefully rip those out. Which actually, that's almost kind of what the entity was doing to you when it attacked you. It was almost like it was ripping stuff out of you. Although it wasn't doing it to be your friend, it was doing it to damage you psychically. Because there's certain memories you need to remember that are instinctual, like breathe. That's very important. How to tell your heart how to pump blood, that sort of thing.
no, breathing and pumping blood is autonomous, so it does it automatically. Your body does. Brain has no control.
Yeah,
over
you have
these
to
functions.
really fuck up a brain in order to.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, oh, I think they're kind of dead for a different.
Yeah.
They're dead for a different reason. Besides, there's different areas of the brains. The memories and stuff are in the temporal lobes behind the ears, and breathing and stuff. That's the brainstem.
Yeah, I think they're like we're. I may try next episode to see what we can build to solve the psionic problem, if there's anything we can. Because if not, I think
Coming from
Tamira's on their own.
You can do a neurological thing. Tamira doesn't want her memories wiped.
No, not getting rid of them. Prevent new ones.
So you want to
my
induce?
Actually,
amnesia?
there is a way. I think there's a way to do it, and you already created the solution.
I mean, if you,
You
don't want to form a
have
memory,
3 Tamiras in a positronic brain,
Yeah, they're
which would be
to
immune to
psionics.
psionic attacks. So
next week I build
3
android bodies. Or the smallest mobile emitter anyone's ever seen, which is the size of a small car.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I'm not sure the emitter might not work.
Well, the emitter is 29th century technology.